Thank you for taking the time to listen to this on-demand replay. The Progress Sitefinity engineering team put together a brief roadmap presentation and new UI walkthrough of what's new in Sitefinity version 11.0. We gathered expert speakers from the Progress software engineering, product, and UX teams to provide a comprehensive detail of this release. Should you have any questions, please do not hesitate to submit via our G+ communications. With this, let's go right into their presentation.
So today we have great pleasure to show what's new, to show you all what's new in Sitefinity 11, and more specifically the main topic of the release, content creation and editing experience. My name is Jordan IIchev. I'm senior manager for Sitefinity development teams, one of Sitefinity development teams, and with me is, by my side is Antoaneta Tsaneva, that is product owner and UX manager, user experience manager for Sitefinity, to answer your questions and present the new content editing experience, and not only that. So first I will start with other major things in the V11, because it's not all about content editing experience. It's the main topic, but there's a few other interesting things you'll be, I'm sure you will be glad to see. The first one is we focus it on MVC framework improvements. We greatly improved our resources and documentation. We also added the most asked feature, detailed view for our content, MVC content widget as well. We keep to improve the MVC framework going further, so stay tuned on more news in this topic. The other thing is we reimagined our Visual Studio plugin, and we also provide a CLI command line interface for that. It's again focused on the MVC development, so the developers can now create MVC widgets with a single click or a command. With this, we're sunsetting our Thunder, old classic Visual Studio extension, and focusing on MVC and this new tool that will share publicly and allow you to also fork and customize for your own needs if you see fit. We also focus on Azure deployment. This is something that all tools supported, but we think that the native SDKs provided by Azure, Amazon, or Google are much better in this regards. So here we more focus it on one-click deployments via the Azure Marketplace or GitHub, improve it Azure deployment resources as well, so you can have a better experience with cloud. We also improved our resources about Azure authentication providers like Azure AD and Azure B2C. We first focused on Azure, but soon to follow the other clouds, similar initiatives for other clouds. Because Azure, by our surveys, the most used environment for cloud deployments of Sitefinity. The next one, major one, is web security. Web security is another major topic for the release. We provide a new layer of protection that uses standard-based HTTP headers to prevent click hijacking, cross-site scripting, content sniffing, and other attacks we want you protect your users to be protected of. It's very easy to configure it in the backend via the UI. This is, we may say, we are the only CMS, to our best knowledge, that provides such functionality built in. We also provided very easy diagnostics and reporting tools, so you can troubleshoot security issues and see possible attack vectors as well. We also provide encrypted configuration, so even if some of your cloud environment gets compromised, you may rest assured that your configuration will be not plain text and will be encrypted for even better security. We're providing, along with this release, also security white paper to help our partners and customers get better sets of security implication, and how this relates to Sitefinity. We also improved our search services, Elasticsearch and Lucent to more recent version as well. We want to share one success story with our other product called Native Chat. For several months, we have a very successful implementation. Over the Sitefinity side, they provided a chatbot for maternity clinic that allows customers to schedule appointments right there in the site, as along with other messaging providers like Facebook and Skype, so on and so on. This is a great story. Stay tuned and you will have a use case presented in the progress next as well, in more in depth. But the really main topic for the release and for today's presentation is to experience a new content creation. There is a few questions I will want to answer first. Why we choose to focus this release on the content editing experience, what we did about it, and how it improves the user performance, productivity, etc. So why we did it and why we focus on this? Because we listen to you and our customers, and this is we know that Sitefinity was famous about great user experience compared to other CMSs, but we don't want to rest on our fame and want to continuously improve the most crucial areas for the content management system. And obviously this is a content editing experience. And we started with that. We focus on user experience and productivity mostly, and security as well. So let me jump in for this audience especially to real life demo. Because we have this pre-recorded if something, the demo gods are not with us, but we'll try to do it live right now. Let me switch to the browser and hope everything will go as expected. So first of all, new content editing experience is built in the Sitefinity admin. It's seamlessly integrated. It's on by default for a new installation, and for existing deployments, when you do upgrade, it will not be turned on by default. Just for you to first check if there is compatibility issues or your customization that you still want to migrate to the new UI. So let's get to the real action. Here we have news list that's much streamlined, much more clear, and but the most important part is again content. When you go to content, everything is much more focused on the primary task, that is content. You have like a white sheet of paper with content in front of you. Everything you need is progressively discovered, like the toolbar for rich content editing experience. And all additional actions and information you may need is still there. For example, translations, it's one click away, but distraction-free, progressively discoverable to users when needed, as well as all the actions you expect from the interface. And we also added the so-called contextual navigation, so even you don't even need to go to the news list to move to the next topic or to edit another story. This is great, especially when we talk about content at scale, because it allows users to really easy perform their task without going back and forth like in classic interface. So what else I want to stress out is if they still need to find something, they can search it right there, for example, web, and it will show all the blog or the news, all the news that related to this term. They also can go to the list they can search here, or if this is sorted by recent item, they can load more items, or they can filter by some predefined filters that we have in classic interface, but we now added the counters, so you can visually see if you want only shadowed items to see very fast, or if you have a draft work that you have to finish, you can filter to that as well. We have search options, language filters as well, and custom filters. This is very powerful because we add all classifications, categories, and tags here by default, plus we provided filtering by author, and we have also provide filtering by date. Something else I want to show is, especially for content scale, you can select several items. You can select all the items on the page, or you can select all items in this content type and perform some bulk operation like publishing and publishing. This is, again, new functionality we believe will help managers or marketers that need to manage content at scale to do their work much faster, much more productive, and much more job to be done. So next, I briefly showed you the modern UI interface. This is our latest generation Can-Do editor that has all the bells and whistles you expect from modern what you see editor. But we added a few more nice things on it, like, for example, if in this news article I want to embed something, I can go to this visual source, I can get this embed snippet, I can put it here, and I see a nice preview. I can adjust the width and height for the item. If I'm happy, I can insert it, and I see it right there in the editor, what you see, what you get in the full glory. We managed to do a great integration with YouTube and Twitter. For example, there you not only need to can do an embed tweet as expected, you can copy the link for the tweet, or simply open the tweet and copy it for the address bar. And when you go to our interface and go to embed media, when you paste it here, we recognize the Twitter API, call them, get the proper snippet, and when you insert, you get it in the post. This is one of the features that our marketeers are very happy with, because the social media and embedding different content from external video sources especially is very important in modern content world. What else we can do within this new editor? For example, we reinvented and reimagined the image selection. You can upload the image obviously from your hard drive, but the great improvement you get is from the new library selector. You can see the recent images by date. You can narrow down to specific image you're searching for, or you can browse the libraries. And the best thing here is you no more see only the center part of the image. You see the whole image in a proper proportion with all information you may need, and you can select it and use it in your content. You can then make it a link, move it right, left, and center, and you can edit, etc. But one part we believe our editors will be very happy with is actual HTML code editor. We managed to squeeze in the Sitefinity backend the top editor for this year in Stack Overflow by developer voting. It's the same editor used by Visual Studio Code. It has great abilities like auto-completion that boost productivity, minimize the user error, and generally make users very happy. and it will suggest me to close the header. This is something our more advanced users, we believe, will greatly like. Other area we see a great productivity improvement and productivity boost is our categories and tax management or classification management. If you add a custom one, let me remove a few that are preset. You can pick one from the recent tax categories. Sorry, you can create an easy new one. For example, progress. Sorry, there is something. I maybe need to save it. Demo gods are not with me today. Let me drop this, for example. Sorry for that. Maybe some of my colleagues didn't know that I do a demo and playing with the server. So let's get back there. So let's say I create a new category. It's show me the proper dialog to create a category. I want to put it in on a root level. So here is the category, and if I want to make a subcategory, Sitefinity, I can create it there, select progress as a parent category, just create it, and that's how easy it is now to manage categories right there in the content, very intuitively and very easy for users to get used to. Same for tax, you can search or select it for more advanced view, or check the selection, remove full tax you're not happy with it. It's very easy. It drastically reduces the learning curve for users, and we believe this will be very good improvement for especially our growing audiences, for not only developers but marketeers and editors that are coming to Sitefinity administration and backend. Something else I want to show is, for example, in this item, if I want to create an additional translation, it's right there in the UI. I just click the other language. I again forget to save it. Sorry for that. I go to Bulgarian translation and I have a translation here. But if I want to translate the site, I go to compare translation and I see the English version very very neatly here with all the what you see, what you get, proper styling, images if there are categories and additional fields that you can translate as well. So let me get back to English. One thing I want to mention is image management. You get this nice image selection not only when you're inserting an image, but same for related media, related documents, and related videos as well. So if I by mistake put on different authors here, you can also replace that in similar fashion. I know this article is written by Jeff, so I select Jeff, and that's easy to relate additional content as well. So I forget. This is very nice actually, that UI always tell me when I forget to save the item. I mentioned the bulk operation, but one thing that is a great relief for our users that work in big teams is also our improved locking and unlocking behavior. Let's choose another item because this was shadowed. And here you see the item is still published. It's in published state. I go here, I expand the content, look something, read something. The item is still not locked. The item will only get locked when I change something here and start typing. This is a great improvement to minimize the locking of the items, and it's one of the more cherished feature. If I publish an item, it will, or save it as a draft, it will immediately be unlocked. Or if I, for example, make a change, but I'm off to something else and I disregard this dialog, the item will also get unlocked and changes will be discarded as I agreed to. Another powerful options that I want to share again for managing content at scale is now with this version of Sitefinity, you can simply copy the URL here, put it or send it via the mail to other user, and if they open it, they can go right there to the content you want to share with them so they can review, approve, edit, or give a feedback to you about it. You saw one scheduled item. I will show you how easy it is now to schedule another item for publishing. Let's say we want this to be a schedule for publishing for progress next, let's say this year. So sorry, not this. Okay. And we save publishing. We send a schedule for publishing. The items get scheduled. Probably I click it something else, but item gets scheduled for publishing, and you see when you open it when this item will go off live, and you can stop scheduling or publish it right away. So as I say, productivity was top priority when designing any of this feature. You see how snappy is new UI, how fast things load, how performant is this. It's because mostly of the way we designed the new backend. It's client side talking to the backend via our standardized OData services. We introduced it in version 9 a few years ago. So everything that you see here is also available for you if you want to do customization or get the content as a headless CMS on demand and use it in other applications like mobile and etc. I think on Progress Next you will get more about this in other talks as well. The last topic I want to mention is security. Security is the third pillar we emphasize when redesigning the new administration. How we achieve it a better security for you and why it's important. We minimized the attack surface by using exclusively only OData services that are standardized RESTful APIs by Microsoft that are proven to be much more secure. HTTP is also mandatory to use the administration. Also, security model works in tandem with the new backend to make sure that only the content from sites you allow it, like Vimeo, Twitter, or YouTube are allowed, so you don't get random content injected in your site. And it's also our extensive review process for security audits for any feature we deliver for our releases that ensure we pay great attention to security. But what happens if you're still missing something in the new UI from the classic UI? You can, or any of your users, by simple switch in their user profile, they can at any time go to classic UI and find something they're not happy or missing there. It's really one-click, seamless, no barriers to go back and forth as frequent as you wish. But one more question that usually pops on when we show this new UI is how I going to extend this UI. For example, if I want to add a column here or add my own command here, execute my own code there, or for example, replace a way you show you this title field here. Here I will do another quick demo. We already make a public preview of our extensibility framework by cloning this repo. Just with 3 commands, you get this cloned, you get in there, you do npm install. This is very familiar to modern JavaScript and HTML developers, as well as TypeScript developers and any front-end developer. We install a quick SDK for extension development. You do npm start. We will give you a local server, will host a slimlined version of the new backend, new admin page only. And when you go to news items, this is the same one that you see embedded here in the Sitefinity real site in Azure. By the way, the performance you see is across the Atlantic. That's fast. We are presenting from Bulgaria on the servers in the US. Apart from that, now you go here, you see a running version against your environment of choice. This is the same environment I'm showing here. You see it in your development environment on the local host. And for example, you see an image column added here, you see a column added here, and you also see the text field replaced. This is samples for each API that we provide. We provide a sample along with it that will allow you to bootstrap and see how things has to be done. Developer productivity was our top priority for day one. So let me show, you see, I can start this in less than 5 minutes to get any developer, even it's not need to be a Visual Studio developer. For example, I'm demoing right now this from Mac. So if I start my Visual Studio code and go to the folder, I just clone it freshly, this extension. And if I go to samples, here is all the sample, custom field, grid extender, comment extender. I can dive in the code. For example, let's choose the grid extender. If I go there and I didn't like the column to be called image, I can name it picture and let's say save. And let's find where is my browser. And our tooling dynamically compiled the bundle, replace it, and plug it in the UI. And now you see, just in few seconds, you see your changes live on your local development environment. What happens if you're done with what you do, you're happy and satisfied with your results, you can configure which extensions you want to use. And then you go to the command line again. I will stop the local server. And you do npm run build. And this will produce, in a few seconds, this produce a bundle that you can get. This is the sample extension bundle that you can get along with the proper map file, and you commit in your Sitefinity source control. And next time you deploy to production, this extension will be live on your instance of Sitefinity. Maybe it's a staging environment, or and when it's ready, you can commit that to production as well. I think they say me custom fields. Here is the custom field. Now you see how the the field was replaced with the one in extensibility here. So here is the custom field. So here is the styling for the field I added. And here is the field I specify that I want to replace. For example, I want to replace title. It's from this type, and it's for the news items. So I think we can wrap up with this. We show that with the new content editing experience, we have a much more productive environment, that we really see how our users are very happy. They're so excited to get to this. And we also see how the performance, extensibility, and security are the top priority for when we redesign it and implemented it.
Thank you once again for listening to this webinar recording. As a reminder, should you have any questions, please do not hesitate to submit via our G+ communications. Again, thank you very much.